We've spent 4 years searching for this car. Since creating WD, we could never find one in barn find condition until today. And with only 14,000 original miles, ladies and gentlemen, we found an abandoned Camaro IROC-Z.
We've been trying to find an IROC-Z for so long, and we put out the bad signal, and we got the call not only for an IROC-Z, but to actually buy one. Oh yeah, with the gold wheels and everything. Oh my God. Brent, look at this thing. Holy crap. Dude, I can't even get any traction. Dude, I'm not even messing around. I can't walk out of here. I have to slide out of here. Whoa! Man, this thing is nuts. The best part is, I was already told, the hood that came with it is up there. So we get 2 hoods for it. We gotta move a bunch of stuff, and we probably need to go get the owner and figure out the best way to get this out and get the backstory on it. Brent! Get over here. What the heck's wrong with you? Stop filming. Dude, that thing looks awesome. We've done so many Z28s. We've been looking for the actual IROC. And then Mike actually sent me the link yesterday, and a day later, here we are. Sometimes you get lucky, I guess.
So now while we take everything off the car, I want to say at the end of the video, we're also going to take it by power and performance and have them look at the engine and see if this thing can get running too. Make sure you guys watch all the way until the end because this episode is packed full of stuff. And we also got Mike's dad a surprise somewhere in the middle of this video too. So we have a lot of content in this one video for you. But I want to ask the question of the video, so leave your answers in the comments below. As we've already said multiple times in this video, this was one of our dream barn finds to find. So we're curious, what is one of your dream barn finds for us to find and post a video on this channel of? Or if you were to find it yourself in real life on your own, what would it be? And also, we're trying to make the push to 1.2 million subscribers by the end of the year. It is a big task, but we're making our way there. So if you guys are not subscribed already, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out, and like the video.
Oh boy. Yeah. Okay. It's not moving. We need the winch. We tried to pull the Camaro out of the muddy garage pit or whatever you want to call that, and we couldn't get any traction and couldn't get any movement. So we have our snatch block hooked up to one of the framing posts of the garage, and we're gonna try and pull it out that way. Man, look at this thing. It looks better than one of those back there. This is the first time I've seen sunlight in 22 years.
Check this out in the dash. This is a kind of a neat little IROC feature. A lot of people thought they deleted the Z28.
Oh, we've seen that on other models before.
It says Z28, IROC-Z below it.
Oh,
on the
sweet. Dash. You don't know how long we've been chasing this car. I really shouldn't be saying that before we do negotiations though. All right, that thing is super cool. And they obviously know we drove all the way from Cleveland for the car, but the price that he's asking is a little too much. He wants $7 grand for it, and my final offer is gonna be $5,000. So I'm gonna start low and see if we can barter him down. The most I'll pay is $5 grand, but I know he has sentimental value with the car, so I looped his trailer around and hopefully do some wheeling and dealing. All right, guys, so we're here with the owner, John, who we found online. He had posted the car for sale. A day and a half, 2 days later, we're on our way down to West Virginia and dragging it out of a mud pit. The first question always is, why did it get put in here and how long has it been in here?
Well, the car's been in this building since 2001. It was my high school project. Me and my dad did it, and a couple of our friends restored it. It was red with a gold interior. I hated red, I hated gold, but this was the car. We painted it black. Had a nice slick black paint job on it. Put the gray interior in it. It's got newer style Camaro seats in it. Enjoyed it. Kids came along and it got parked and never got done again.
So was this your first car?
No.
Okay.
The other one was the first one.
Oh, the other Camaro back there.
Yeah.
Gotcha. I don't think we even showed that, but you can't see it. It's covered in
Yeah, it's buried.
Parts
It's buried worse than this one.
Did a full paint job, obviously the interior, anything else?
Full paint job. The suspension was done. The engine and transmission were done. It has a 30 over 5.7. At the time, Tuneport Specialties was the only place that did anything with tune ports. They reworked the tune port for me.
Can you define tune port for me? Because I'm actually not familiar.
Let's look at it.
Yeah, absolutely.
It gives you a better view. So basically, this was state of the art for back in the day. You had an injector per each cylinder, so each cylinder fired fuel on its own. Instead of feeding, say, 4 at one time or 2 at a time, it feeds all 8. 8 injectors, 8 cylinders.
Well, I didn't know this until a second ago, but this was parked because it, well, clearly looks like it caught fire at some point. What exactly was the story with that?
The fuel pressure regulator, the gasket was leaking on it. And Howard, the guy that's here, said, "Hey, car's smoking." And I was like, it's just dew burning off it on a cool morning. We walked back out, and thank God he's a firefighter. So the damage was minimal. And we put it back in here, and that's it.
Yeah, a bit more than due, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But hopefully we can still get it a run. You said even after it caught fire, it was still running?
Yep, it would run.
I know you had it posted for 7,000, and obviously we drove all the way from Cleveland. I didn't know that it caught fire, and I can't pay 7. So I figured we might as well start the bidding low.
Okay.
I'll offer, don't take offense, you just have to start low so you got room to grow, you know?
Right.
2,500.
Yeah, you're way light, man. You're way light. 6 grand. I'll go 6 on it. You ain't gonna find a nicer one.
That's still a bit more than we actually brought. What if we met in the middle at 4,250?
How about still a little bit? I'll tell you what. You guys came a long way. It's been fun. 4,500, and it's yours.
Did we get that extra hood?
You get the hood too.
Kind of a hard bargain.
All right.
We can do it.
Thank you.
Cool. We just bought an IROC-Z. Oh my gosh. 43, 44, 45. Here are, sir. Double count that just to make sure.
Thank you.
But
Appreciate it.
thank you very much for doing business. Well, in the meantime, this is a good time to say, not only are we traveling around and buying barn finds, if it's something that is an enthusiast vehicle that's extremely dirty like this Z28 is, that has a great story, we'll come out, we'll find a shop locally, we'll clean the car 100% for free, and make some great YouTube content, or we might even buy the car and get it running and show the world. We got a 2.5 hour drive home, but if you guys want us to come out and buy your car or detail your car, email us there. Please send your location and please send pictures, or you can DM us on Instagram. Cars have to be dirty. Please send pictures and let us know where you're at. But I gotta go get the title, and then we gotta get home because we're about to be out of daylight. We made it back with the Z28 IROC-Z, and this is Mike's first impression of it. He did not come with us to go and get it. He knew that we were going to get it, but we didn't tell him that we were going to be buying it either. So, Mike, this is the new WD Mobile.
I see that now, and quite a purchase you have made. I really love the black on gold with the gold wheels, the gold decals on the side. I mean, it looks pretty good, you know, dirty, but I think it'll clean up pretty nice.
We've been searching for the IROC-Z for a while. We've done plenty of Z28s, and we had never been able to find an IROC. I always knew that it was like ground effects that were different on the IROC. You had the sweet gold wheels, which I think ties the whole entire car together. You have the decals on the side, and then apparently it also came with the fog lights down there, as well as an upgraded suspension, and it was lowered 5 inches, so the ground presence was way more aggressive than the standard Camaro. And then actually, this is a question for you guys as well. I was told that this is a normal Camaro hood, but then we were given the Z28 hood. Was that something that only came on the IROCs, or was that for all the Z28? But let us know down below. We're gonna try and find the inserts for that and put it on this car because I think it looks way better, but we'll do that after we clean up this hood. Now granted, this car's been repainted, but apparently all the Z28s were two-tone, whereas the IROC-Z was the only monotone Z28 that you could get. So if it wasn't a two-tone car, you knew it was an IROC car, and I presume that this was an all-red IROC until they repainted it all black. The VIN does say that it was an IROC car, so we lucked out and didn't get scammed.
As you guys can see, these wheels are in dire need of some help, but one interesting thing I saw on here is actually this designation for front wheel, and they have the same on the rears, which I don't think I've ever seen on any factory wheels. That's a little odd, but still look killer, and we're gonna get these cleaned up here in 1 second.
But right before we surprised you with the Camaro, we actually have a second surprise, but it's not for you. It's for your dad, and it's outside. All right, so you know how your dad has helped us out a bunch by allowing us to use his truck when all my trucks seem to break down on me? Well,
Yes.
we were able to get him a little gift.
Okay. Oh, is that a new cover?
It's a brand new tonneau cover.
Dude, he's gonna love this.
At least we could do for him for all the times that he's helped us. So we're gonna install it, and then we're gonna go take it to Mike's house to show his dad and surprise him and get his reaction. And this would not be possible without this video sponsor, WorkSport. And don't skip to the end of this ad because you're definitely gonna wanna see Mike's dad reaction. It's gonna be good.
Worksport is skillfully made in America, and they're dedicated to ensuring all materials are sourced right here in the US. Their tonneau covers are tougher and lighter than traditional tonneau covers, with all the features expected by truck owners, focusing on delivering practicality, durability, and style. The installation is super easy. There's no full-length drainage rails that interfere with your cargo area. They use a unique bracket system secured with a proprietary clamping system, so there's no cumbersome C-clamps. And the tough and lightweight design comes fully assembled, installs in under 20 minutes, and is easily removed so you can use your whole truck bed. The AL3 Pro Hard tonneau cover that we got has a low profile and sleek design that protects your gear without sacrificing durability and style. And all AL3 hard covers are made with extra strong aluminum panels that provide superior dent resistance and deliver unparalleled protection against forced entry.
So it took us about 10 minutes to install this from start to finish. It was super simple, super easy, and it's extremely sleek, and the seal all the way around is perfect. There's not a gap at all. And then on top of that, the Worksport logo is blue, just like Mike's dad's truck. So without further ado, let's go ahead and head over to Mike's house and surprise his dad. You know how you let us use the truck all the time? Well, we had a brand deal with a company called Worksport that makes something for your Ford, and we thought it'd be nice if we gave it to you because I know that yours was a little damaged.
Yeah, it was a little bit. Oh, look at that. Wow.
Nice, right?
Wow.
So it's sealed all the way around. It's sealed all the way on your tailgate here. And
This
then
is beautiful.
and then check this out.
Looks like a brand new truck, though.
So when you want to lift it up, you just pull this little lever here and the whole thing comes right up. So you don't have to go in there and, you know, pull the levers down.
Nice.
You like it?
Yep. Of course I like it.
Right now you can take advantage of a limited time summer sale and get $230 off an AL3 hardcover and then an extra $10 off if you use code WD Detailing. And that's $240 off of your entire purchase. So order now and enjoy free same-day shipping, local support, and an ironclad warranty. So guys, definitely check out Worksport. It's quality you can trust and innovation you deserve. This really is a great tonneau cover, and they helped us surprise Mike's dad, which made my day, and I'm sure it made Mike's dad's day as well. Go to worksport.com and enter our promo code WD Detailing to get that extra $10 on top of that $230 off promo that they're running for the summertime. But it's getting late out here and I need to go get some sleep so I can wake up tomorrow and get back to work on the Camaro.
So the first thing we're going to clean are the wheels, and we're going to take them off a little bit later because we plan on getting new tires for the car, and that way we can clean the wheel wells super good. But it's so satisfying getting to clean these gold rims and watching them sparkle again. Plus a little later we even sanded them down and polished them up.
All right, so get this, Mike. I just got off the phone with a gentleman named Rowdy, who we had done his 1984 Z28 maybe about 6 or 8 weeks ago. He had actually just sent a package to us by accident because he had sent us some parts for his Z28. He sent them from his Amazon account, and he had put our shop address in order to send us the products that he wanted us to put on his Camaro. Well, he must have accidentally ordered some parts because they got delivered last week, and I texted him. I said, hey, let me know, I'll return these for you, then you can order them again off Amazon so that I don't have to pay for shipping, or he doesn't have to pay for the shipping. Well, anyway, I need you to hold this real quick, Mike.
Sure.
I didn't open the package, and I just talked to Rowdy. What do you notice about that back gate that's frustrating?
It's very heavy.
And what do you think is in this box? I'll give you a hint.
Oh.
It's very similar to this length right
By
here.
happen chance, there's a new struts for this thing.
New struts. And I was like, hey man, can I just pay you for them? And he's like, how about you just go on Amazon and you order it to my house? So he sent me struts. I'm gonna buy the same struts and send it back to him. And now we don't have to go to AutoZone and overpay for struts.
Now it's time to pressure wash this American muscle beast and see what that paint looks like underneath.
now it's time to show Mike the engine bay. Like I said, Mike, this car actually caught fire.
Fire!
Let me know if you can tell where it caught fire.
Yes. All right, so you said this is a 350, right?
Yes. So initially, all these cars during this time period came with that 305 engine that was actually in the Monte Carlo, and I believe it had some other work done to it too. We even have the camshaft specs in the car that we will show to the guys over at Cleveland Power and Performance, and hopefully we can get it running. We were told that it will run even after it caught fire, so fingers crossed that's the case.
Yeah, definitely gonna need some work done here. It seems like the distributor cap all caught on fire as it's crumbling in my hand. But this looks a lot like a C4 Corvette 5.7. They had a very similar intake. Correct me if I'm wrong, the YouTubers, but that's what it looks like to me. Definitely not what came in here. All these wires need to be snipped and replaced and fixed up. But it seems like the fire just was back here and didn't affect really anything else around the engine bay, so that's good. But first things first, before we're gonna clean any of this, I'm gonna take all of this fluff down and get rid of it. Moving on to the interior of this Camaro. Now, you guys will have to help me here because we were told this is an 85 Camaro, but we were also told that a lot of pieces of this interior are actually from a newer model. So the one thing I noticed right away is that this speedo goes up to 115. So I believe that that's not from this car. And also another thing that caught my eye is this thing has a CD player, which I think is very odd for a car from 85. So you guys gotta let me know. This looks like it probably out of a newer Camaro, but I'm not too sure. The rest of it looks pretty plug and play, looks like the older Camaro that we did. The other one had a contour interior, which was that sweet orange and red coloring. But this is a little bit more simplistic. Got the grays, got the blacks, and it's not a bad place to be, especially with the T-tops. A couple other creature comforts that I think are specific to the IROC model. This thing has power windows, and also it has power mirrors, which I don't think was a real big thing in 85. I have an 87 Rocco, and that has manual, basically everything. A lot of cars at that time had, you know, manual mirrors and manual windows too. My one big gripe, always with any of the cars that we do, especially muscle cars, is the transmission. Man, do I wish this was a manual, because I think driving an old manual car with a big V8 motor is just where it's at compared to driving an automatic. Without further ado, I gotta get my mask on, get the heck out of this thing. It is covered in mold, carpet-wise, which is a little odd for us. So I gotta get out of here, get the seats out of here, and get this interior cleaned up.
Now, before we actually clean the interior, we're gonna get these struts swapped out. That way we can actually clean the trunk without having to worry about that falling on our heads. Now, first things first, we're going to clean the seats because they're very dirty and they're made out of all fabric, which means the extractor is going to get them absolutely soaked. And we want to give them ample time to dry before we put them back into the IROC. And extracting these was super satisfying for me. I think they turned out really, really nice. Now at this point, it was time to go outside and take a quick breather break, and I was able to capture footage of none other than Frank's mom and what we think is his sister. Every day we see these two seagulls sitting right above our shop door, and the one on the left that's white, we think that's Frank's mom, and the one on the right definitely is Frank's sister or brother. We don't know if it's a boy or girl, but we want your help. We want to name them. So if you have names for Frank's family, leave them in the comments below. And also, what the heck is his mom doing right here? She's probably calling for Frank, even though he's never going to come home. I figured a lot of you commented about Frank when we showed him, and now that he's gone, he's going to be very missed, but we can still keep up with the family.
we have the old emblem that we removed from the front bumper of the Camaro to install the emblem that we found inside the car. And I was like, why didn't they just throw the emblem on? It should be pretty easy. Well, now I know why. First, you have to take off the airbox. Then, you have to take off the shroud that covers this area right here. Then, in order to reach the back of this bumper, you have to take off this brace that braces this to, I guess, the rest of the, what do you call this, a crash bar. After that's all removed, then you have to stick your hand in the hardest place to try and get these two little bolts that have no meat on them at all. I understand now why he didn't want to put this on. So it took me 30 minutes to go ahead and pull this off. I polished everything, and now we're gonna go ahead and reinstall. What the heck? You know what works really well here? Double-sided adhesive.
Now we're going to take care of these rims, replace the tires with brand new ones, clean the wheel wells and the undercarriage really good, and put it back together. And I think this was collectively our favorite part of the detail, because you can see how bad the rims are at the beginning, and after RJ sanded them down and polished them, and we put the brand new tires on it, it was a night and day difference, and it was so much nicer.
We took the wheels and had the old tires removed and got some brand new tires because those weren't holding air. And when we take it to power and performance, so hopefully get it started, obviously the goal is to get it running well enough to do some burnouts, and you can't do burnouts on flat tires. So we're gonna go ahead and put these back on and finish up the detail.
Another missing piece that you might have noticed that we went ahead and bought were the IROC center caps for the wheels. We figured it was the finishing touch that it needed, so we went ahead and put those on too. And for the last thing on the interior, we went ahead and cleaned all the windows, and then back on the exterior, we finally put the original hood back on the car, and then we fitted it with the center pieces that we also bought, because what is an IROC-Z without that iconic hood?
All right, guys, so we brought the car to Power and Performance, where Tim and Adam have been helping us resurrect these cars from the barns that we find them in, and this is their first sight at the Camaro IROC-Z.
I love it. I mean, iconic.
Yeah.
IROC, iconic. Dude, it looks mint. I mean, I don't know about mint, but hold on now. What happened here? You blow this off with your pressure washer?
That was not me.
No. Ooh, that wasn't me.
Might have been you.
No, it wasn't me.
Dale Earnhardt edition?
I'd say.
I guess so.
Beautiful.
The sticker works, though. I think it works well.
Yes.
Dude, the wheels are sick.
Yeah.
Big fan of the wheels.
I had a set of these on my S10.
This is Adam's dream car,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
What did you say that?
Yeah, this is probably my favorite car of all time.
It wasn't in the greatest shape when we found it, that's for sure. I actually rotaried the majority of this car, and then DA cut it, and then finish polished it. We actually swapped out the hood because they had a standard Camaro hood on, but they were nice enough to give us the greatest hood that these ever came with, in my opinion. And then I actually, when I say just got these, they got dropped off at my house at 1:45, and it's 3 o'clock now, so we got here. Jegs, I think.
Okay.
This is like a run and gun from the beginning, like all of our videos, but this one actually worked out, and so obviously we're here to hopefully get it running. But this engine is a little different than the standard IROC engine, which was the 305. This actually has a 350 in it.
Okay.
And there's some other information that he gave me that I personally don't know too much about. It's a .030 over 50.
Overbore
Yeah.
type situation.
So
So-
30 over, so it's technically a 355.
Okay.
So that's what it like, because you bore it over, it makes cubic inches bigger. So a 30 over 350 is really a 355 cubic inch.
I'll take your word for it.
We'll see what kind of heads it has, see if it's got any other goodies.
Well, then
in it.
there's another surprise in the engine bay. She was in a bit of a fire. So we're hoping that we can figure it out, but I guess we should probably get it over the lift so you guys can let us know if she's too far gone and we have to LS swap it, or if she can be saved. Without even telling you the price, you guys think we bought a decent car, or is it already a turd?
Well, it looks like what a third gen should look like, at least in my opinion, unless the thing was really stored on mothballs. It has surface rust, to be expected. It's got the pan super rusty, but it doesn't seem to be leaking. I mean, it's there's some fluid, residual fluids and stuff here.
We do have a
that one,
belt
yeah, that
here
ain't
that's no longer attached to.
I can
any of the
explain
other
that
pulleys.
once we get into the
Okay,
engine bay.
okay.
Without seeing the under the hood, it's hard to say too what kind of deal you would have got depending on what you paid. The floor pans, I have a different perspective on what a floor pan should look like. My stuff is super rotted out, and I'm fine with that. It's called patina now, so I'd call this patina if it were my car. Now, Adam, would you put floor pans in this?
Maybe down the road. You know, there is a couple holes back
Yeah,
here.
I guess there's some carpet.
I mean, for me, I'd be out there driving and enjoying this thing tonight. You know, if it runs, I'd be out there just driving it around, having a good old time. Once I got back here, I saw some fluid, and the fluid is right underneath this brake line. So it looks like we do have a rotted out brake line that is leaking. So that's definitely something that you're gonna wanna fix before you go and drive it, because you won't have brakes. But looking at the rest of the lines, you might have some other issues. Like here's some fuel lines, here's your fuel filter. Everything's looking a little bit crusty. So I'm not saying it won't fire up, but it's definitely something before you go out and drive it and enjoy it that you're gonna wanna have to take care of. That way, you'll be able to stop.
Apparently the distributor caught on fire, and the wires are the most concerning to us. The distributor seems like it could just be replaced pretty easily.
Obviously,
but-
it's not that bad.
Cool.
For as far as damage goes, like the car could be gone per se. But yeah, for as far as getting it running, I see a lot of bare wires over here touching each other.
You think this is actually a real 14,000 mile car?
I would believe it. I wouldn't be shocked. I would also believe that somebody swapped the odometer, or swapped the speedometer into it, but I wouldn't be shocked.
Looking at the top side and what's not burnt, but looking at all the sheet metal up here and all the parts and everything, a lot of this stuff is pretty clean. Whether or not somebody's been in here, like these valve covers and everything else, it doesn't look that old or terrible up here. I mean, look at that washer bottle and cooler reservoir.
Now,
bottle.
what are we missing here? It's real hot outside.
AC, you got T-tops.
Oh.
You don't need AC when you got T-tops.
I got it right here.
Oh, you got the compressor.
Yeah.
All right. Does it compress?
That's a good question.
This is your throttle cable right here, but yeah, look at that. That ain't,
It ain't gonna throttle. Oh, she locked out.
we don't have any throttle there. Not moving at least, and it's most likely these cables kind of preventing that. Granted, we could probably pull these off and open that up, but yeah, just looking at all the wires, this side's not as bad as the other side, but some of these fuel injector plugs and wires are kind of burnt up, and just this whole harness that's over here is kind of, what else has it done?
Have you put power to it yet?
We have not.
Would you put power to this car?
No. There's so many wires that are stripped of all their insulation, touch and intertwined. Don't want to have this thing burn down any more than what it already has.
We knew we were getting into something, but it's all for the content, I guess.
Sure.
Now, before we tell you the price, here is the...
Oh, dang, it's got a cam in it. It's got a CompuCam 2050. And can you believe it's hydraulic? From 57 to 87 Chevy V8. What do you think of that lift and that duration, that lobe separation?
Well, let's see what we got here. On the intake at 50 thousandths lift, we got 216 intake, 228 exhaust. Valve lift, 454 on the intake side and 480 on the exhaust. I'm not too, I would say this probably would be a decent cam. Valve float at 6,500, so it's not really a high revving cam. It's probably mid-range.
Street cam type
Yeah,
thing?
street cam. Probably make this thing a lot of fun to drive, I'm
Probably
sure.
sound pretty cool.
While Adam checks to see if this engine's going to turn over, this will probably be the deciding factor of whether or not we paid too much or if we made a good decision.
Not looking good right now. I'm just tightening the bolt more and more. So I would say it feels pretty tight, pretty locked up. So whether or not that might be pull the spark plugs out of it, put a little oil down the cylinders, start working this thing back and forth, trying to get it to free up. That might be the best path. Who knows if it's related to that distributor?
Well, with that being said, and with the engine being locked up and having caught fire, and the interiors are pretty nice on this car too, so with everything that you've seen today, would you like to guess or would you like me to tell you?
I could think I could take a guess.
I could take a guess.
All right.
Can we have a quick conference? Okay, so hold on. No, we're having a quick conference. Me and Adam. They have a ton of money, right? Yeah. And just so obviously they can be probably ripped off pretty easily. No, I don't know. Views. And views. They bought it for views. So that I think they probably paid like 20 grand for this thing.
No.
Yeah, probably like 25 grand. I don't know, dude.
Maybe take a zero off.
Yeah, you think it's like 25 bucks? RJ, so without like you having the ability to pop the hood, really go over the car, look underneath it, I'm assuming you didn't really shell out a ton of money. You kind of were conservative with it. I think we're on the same page around 2,500 bucks.
Yeah,
something like that.
A little more.
Okay, how much more is a little more?
Actually, my first offer was $2,500.
Okay.
So that's what I wanted to pay, $4,500 bucks.
Okay. I mean,
not too far off. Originally, when we were under the car, Tim and I were talking, like how much, like
You
not
said
seeing any of
45,
this.
yeah.
I said 4,500.
I said 4,500 bucks.
So
Does an LS swap cost more than this car that we paid for it?
Depends on who's doing it.
yeah,
If you're doing it in your backyard and you're getting an LS out of a truck at pull apart, you could maybe do it depending on what you're paying yourself. But to have it done nice and right and safely, an LS would cost more.
like Tim said, if you're doing it at home, you could definitely do this for whatever, $5,000, depending on what you want to put in there. Just iron block 5.3. Now, bring it here. You want to go a little bit crazier. We can do a lot more. We can do custom suspension. We can put a 5, 6, 700 horsepower built motor in this. So the price just skyrockets from there. Everything new, and make this car drive like a new Camaro would, still be an 87 body. It could go up into the tens of thousands, $40,000, $50,000, depending on how crazy you go with it.
It doesn't take much when you're talking about, especially when you're talking about custom fabbing anything. You're talking about custom fabbing an exhaust, and then if there's a part that is a swap part you get in, a motor mount, a trans mount, it might be close to fitting, but might also need a little tweaking. And that's the difference, I think, too, of sometimes somebody doing it in their backyard, awesome, versus somebody doing it in a shop where we're going to take the time and do it the absolute best way that we can do it.
After further deliberation, the best plan of action is for us to leave it here, see if Adam can't figure out if the motor is actually locked up, and then move on from there. The LS swap is probably unlikely for us, so we'd be looking towards likely a 350 swap if we do end up keeping the car. But obviously we have to know if this 350 is kaput for good or if it can be resurrected. So with that note, we will leave this car with you guys for further investigation. But thank you to you guys for obviously getting us.
Run that back.
We're going. All right. Wait, you can keep the first one in now. Because the redemption dad. Yeah. They did a fantastic job with the Monte Carlo that we did a couple videos ago. They got it running and surprised Denise and her family. Denise is the owner. It was her father's car. It was a beautiful story, and she actually reached out to them to take the Monte Carlo further, so we could probably even do another update on the Monte Carlo and actually get that burnout that we were looking for. Definitely go subscribe to everyone at Power and Performance. These guys are awesome guys. We cannot do this stuff without you guys. And thank you to all you guys. We definitely could not be doing this without you. So if you enjoyed this video, please like it. And if you want to see more, subscribe to watch us make maybe good choices or maybe more mistakes. See you next week.